Considering my robust early morning forecast for the amount of snow in the region and the fact I'm having to scale that back, I thought it'd be good to record what happened here. First of all, the update here, this will be posted soon. You already get a spoiler here on the 2 to 4 inches I think is going to occur in the region. But let's look really quick at the models. Now this is the GFS model. I wanted to show the latest version here. And just outlining where we are in this area here. Whoa, it's actually just going to make it a box. Oh, that's interesting. Not what I wanted to do. But basically, we are here, if you can't find us. You see the whole county is looking fairly good. If you look at the amounts forecasted, we're seeing like 4 to 5 inches. That's pretty good. But you do see this little area of dryness that shows up. And this little area here, it shows up on all the different models. It's just depending on where it is. It's here, there. It could be up north or south. It's the one that keeps on throwing me for a loop as to where we get less snow. And then you see these little pockets of heavier snow. And the question is, will there be pockets of heavier snow or not? And earlier, these pockets looked like they would consolidate and be a little more confined over our area. And I got a little excited. But I should have just waited one more model run because they immediately backed off this morning of that idea. Now, there are different types of models that are out there. There are more of the high-resolution models, which I'm looking at here. This is called the NAM, which is the North American model, and it's 3 kilometer, meaning that it's got grids down to 3 kilometers square that actually it tries to hone in on. And you can see here's a little slot of drier snowfall, but you see this almost like a line. Maybe it didn't connect it here. Or maybe some heavier snowfall, and then you get the heavier snowfall along the ridges, where you have higher elevations, and then you have these little pockets where you don't see as much. And honestly, that's what's going to be difficult to tell, is who's going to get in these pockets where you have basically subsidence, which means the air sinks a little bit, and it kind of dries up these in-between zones, and yet then you have other areas where you get better lift, so you get a lot more moisture, you get better dendrite growth on the snow, which makes it fluffier and more powdery. So this is the NAM, or the North American model. And again, we see in general 2 to 3 inches, maybe 4. Ratios will be pretty high in some areas because of that. You obviously see the mountains getting more and to the east getting less. And then we have the European model. This was this morning. There'll be a new one out relatively soon. The European model is showing a general 2, 3, maybe 4 inch snowfall in the area. And this is a typical gradation here of less to the east and more to the west. But you don't get that more refined view on here because it's a higher grid. The grid is more miles so it's kind of a blend of areas. So once we get this close to events, these types of models are giving a general sense of where low pressure systems will go, but not exactly how much precipitation will fall within a specific region or area. Then lastly here is what is called the HRRR model. It's just a high resolution model. Often used for more of like convective types of setups, but it's good to see if it sees anything with growth or lift or something of that nature where potentially it could be heavier snow. And here are those two lines again, the ridge, of course, and then we have this other kind of raised area of snow that may be more 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 inches in this one region. But then you see these other areas where you get the drier slots. And again, these are troubling and problematic because where you are is going to be huge, because if you're on either side of the more growth oriented or the uplift, you may be in a more of a subsidence zone and get more of a dry look. So there are going to be people who miss the major, I can't say major, put it in quotes, the bigger snow versus those neighbors that may get more. Who and where this sets up, your guess is as good as mine. I had a good sense earlier because things kind of pointed a certain way that there was going to be banding across the entire county, and I was getting a little excited because I was like, well, everybody can kind of get in on the action, and some were going to still get some of the bigger banding. That partially had to do with how close the coastal was going to be to our region, but now the coastal is going to be further off. And here's the caveat of all this. If that coastal is really further off from where we are, and it truly is further to the east, then if that's the case, we may see more area get into dryness and not get as much snow. So just a concern I have in the overall setup. I had this concern early, then I kind of backed off of it, and now it's back. These are not going to be your big snow producers. This is just a disturbance. It's not organized. It's actually organized to the west, and it's transferring to the coast to organize for New England. And we're kind of in that in-between zone, and who gets what is going to be very difficult. It's going to be sporadic. Across the county, certain people may get more than others. So that's true model watching for you as far as things go. But like I said, it's going to become a real-time event when tomorrow rolls around, or this evening rolls around, it's not even tomorrow, as we watch radar to see where those bands potentially set up, and if they do actually set up over the county. Of course, you get the higher elevations. That's where maybe we could see 4 or 5 inches in points. Probably in general, maybe that's where you get your 3 to 4 inch type of scenarios. I backed off dramatically on everyone else to 2 to 3 inches, but I did show that some could see 5 inch plus. There probably are going to be a few 3, 4 inch range kind of totals in some band across this county, a band of snow from north to south that sets up and does it. Now, we could overperform. If we do, then maybe we push closer to the 4 to 5 inch. If we underperform, and some people really could, I mean, they may see the 1 to 2 inch. So I think in general, 2 to 3 inches with some up to 5 is probably a smart call. And I think there may even be some places that see 1 inch, and maybe even some places that could eke out a 6 inch here or there, especially some more of the favorite areas and things that bank up against the mountains. Anyway, that is it. Sorry for the long-winded explanation, but you see this is not an easy forecast. And as I said, it looks like that snow and moisture area is going to expand, but then the later models pulled the low that was off to the east further out, which means we're in a bigger kind of messed up zone of transfer of energy, and what may start out for us is going to probably decrease. All right, that's all I've got for now. Thanks.